Next thing I was going to be looking at Hasan Piker recently got banned from the UK. So he was about to
See
travel to
here,
the
yeah.
UK to do some speeches.
He's done this a
Cambridge
couple
and
times
Oxford are
now.
both universities that Hasan has spoken at before at length. He talks about US UK relations, the power of government, and how it's used to potentially oppress people um, and used to stifle their free speech. And I don't know what else to tell you other than now they're using the power of government to stifle his free speech. The exact same thing that he's been railing on for the last 10 years, and that he spoke at Cambridge, at these UK universities, as well as within the US. They don't like that he's had a lot of sway within American politics. I think that's pretty obvious. He had a visa originally, and they yoinked it away from him before his trip because they don't want to hear what he has to say because they know that it's detrimental to their government and their authoritarian regime where they want to maintain their base of power. But if he's allowed to speak at these universities, he has an influence on the youth and he can sway the vote. And they don't fucking like that. They don't like free speech. They don't want that over in the UK. They just want you to, eat your shit and vote how they want you to. So, um, because of that, they're pulling his visa, so he's not allowed to speak.
Well, Fox News Digital says I have a subpoena, but I've yet to be served one. So I don't even know what's going on. Kind of feels like you guys have more insight into what the federal government's doing than I do, and I'm supposed to be subpoenaed. So many others. There's also, from what I understand, a miscarriage took place, and some of the.
This is actually him talking about, I think it's the next video here. That was him talking about the federal subpoena in the US um, that he received. That was talking about the federal subpoena he received in the US, or has yet to receive, I should say. Fox News reported on it. They reached out to him for a statement, but he hadn't received a subpoena as far as what's been reported yet. Um, yeah, fucking love Fox News, dude. Marxist political influencer, Hasan Piker. I'm sure he's eating that up. Oh yeah, that was the other piece. It's another one of these administrative subpoenas, is what it's supposed to be. It's seeking finances and logistics for his trip to Cuba. They hate the fact that he went to Cuba and gave aid to regular people. So apparently now it's wrong to go places that are being disenfranchised. Anybody who doesn't know, there's a huge embargo on Cuba from the U.S. They can't trade goods that have more than 10% U.S. work put into them, basically. So essentially, if anything has touched the U.S. at any point or will touch the U.S., um, it can't have gone through Cuba. And with the oil shortage in the Strait of Hormuz, they are having a lot of issues keeping their power grid online. Between that and our oil embargo to Cuba, and so as part of a relief effort, Sam Piker went over there to help them. And now the U.S. government is investigating him for terrorist activities. Um, because even though we haven't declared war, we haven't declared them an enemy, Cuba is, in all respects, in Republicans' mind, an enemy. Um, so yeah, the Fox News obviously a great reporter on this thing, very devout to the truth, let's say. One thing that will come into this, yeah, they're saying Jewish groups have publicly. This is something you always see from the right and from fascistic dictatorships, is they use, especially nowadays where everybody's fucking woke, they want to say hide behind a different group. So instead of just coming out and saying we want to ban this guy from speaking out for this reason, they're saying Jewish groups have publicly urged for the government, but it's not really Jewish groups, it's Zionist groups specifically. Zionist groups that don't like the fact that he's speaking out about Israel. Um, Something I'll say because my channel is pretty new. People might not know my politics on this. Um, you need to remain critically unessentialist when it comes to political analysis. So what that means is that A, Israel does not speak for all Jewish people. and B, they have a political incentive to increase anti-Semitism, which is why you see Zionists doing that all the time, from doxing protesters here in the U.S., creating laws in the U.S. where you can't boycott, divest, um, or defund anything related to Israel, which is a problem with free association that the right doesn't seem to care about, even though they care about it in every other context when it comes to their right to associate with, let's say, certain neighbors of ethnicity. But when it comes to free association to not fund a genocide, they really give a shit about that one. Um, so when it comes to that essentialization, that's something that Israel has been trying to do for years now. Because what they understand is if they say that we're the Jewish homeland, we're the only ones representing Jews, and then they go out and do these horrible things, and then people see that, they take their words at face value, and then they relate them to um, the Jewish state as all Jewish people. You drive up anti-Semitism. If you drive up anti-Semitism, then they can use that anti-Semitism as a case for having a Jewish state, having an ethno-state. So basically, they're trying to create a feedback loop, expecting people to be too stupid to separate Judaism from Zionism, which are very different concepts, which is exactly what they're trying to do here. Hasan Piker speaks out about Israel and Zionists, and then Fox News whitewashes it and says Jewish groups, not Zionist groups, who are the actual people who are trying to get him banned from the UK, but Jewish groups. They're doing the same conflation that Israel wants people to do to drive that anti-Semitism, to drive their own personal narrative that will allow them to continue their genocide. Um, so they just have this giant feedback loop going, and the right is absolutely complicit with it. Uh, I'll probably talk more on that later. That's a really deep topic to get into, but it basically relates to uh, deep Christian nationalists relating to the Jewish homeland and the Third Temple, some prophecies for the end times, things like that. But citing his remarks on Hamas and Hezbollah, uh, they're probably not going to produce these remarks. Let's take a look. Mm, Israel advocacy groups, or sorry, Israel advocacy organizations have unbelievable amounts of power over what even the United Kingdom has to say. If you're an avowed anti-Zionist, your travel will be restricted. I mean, these aren't the statements from the Jewish groups that they're saying, which they don't include conveniently. But he's right. He's absolutely right about this. Israel holds a ton of sway in the U.S. and the U.K., and they will absolutely use it to shut down any free speech that they deem is detrimental to their cause, which is exactly what they're doing here. So, you know, protect your First Amendments, um, because they're going to do everything they can to take those away. Thank you so much for watching my video. I appreciate it. And I got some more videos for you here. I'll be putting some out every week on news, interest stories, and some gaming as well. I might even throw in a little personal stuff for you guys if you're interested. But yeah, go ahead and check those out. Like and subscribe if you in fact did, and if you don't, leave me a hateful comment. Happy to answer them. Bye.